Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, Summary Time Pro Wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Let me ask you a question. You ever see somebody walk into a room like they're the answer to a question that nobody asked? Well, you know what? That is Bill Goldberg in 2025. And look, I just want to let you know that he's coming back. In case you didn't know, Bill Goldberg is coming back, and I'm not excited about his return at all. Actually, you know what? I think I might be frustrated a little bit, but what if I told you that this match that's going to happen with Gunther at Saturday night's main event, it's not just lazy booking, it's dangerous, maybe not just for Goldberg, but for WWE's future, because when we talk about Gunther, Jey Uso, and WWE's perversion with nostalgia, you're going to see why this is probably a step backwards. If it's your first time here, leave a message in the chat, whether it's live or on demand. We're fully interactive, and I go back and I respond to every single message that you write. We got Heel Vega kicking it off right now. He said the only way he's seen Gunther's reign being wasted is if he beat Jay just to retire Goldberg and then to lose it back to Jay at SummerSlam. I doubt me and my good friend want to watch that at SummerSlam. You know what? Starting off everything hot already. But look, Goldberg, this is his final run. Hopefully, he's going to go away. Goldberg is never going to come back. He's just going to be gone. And this is something that's not new. This is something that was teased at Bad Blood back in October 2024. This is Goldberg there. You know, he decided he wanted to jump over the barricade, and all those people had to hold Bill Goldberg back because Bill Goldberg was going to jump over there and do something. And do something. But definitely when Goldberg left, Goldberg made sure that he had to point at the camera to let everybody know that Gunther is next. So we all knew that it was coming. But if you ask me, I'll be honest, we were all in a little bit of denial. Yes, denial is a river in Africa. Yes, but we were in denial. We were all saying, you know what, maybe that, you know, they'll forget about Goldberg. Maybe he'll get roped into the P. Diddy trial and WWE couldn't touch him. But you know what happened? We were wrong because we are getting Goldberg versus Gunther. And look, you got to understand, we've been here before. This is nothing new. Goldberg coming back just to win a championship and have short matches, they're not new to us, and they're definitely not new to him. The thing with Goldberg, let me tell you about Goldberg. Goldberg offers nothing new. Same exact entrance. You follow him to the back, you know, cut to the stage, pyro, people chanting his name. Goldberg, Goldberg. Same match. A little bit of heat on Goldberg. No real story in the match. Just a high-profile match from WWE superstars. Same exact ending. Spear out of nowhere. Jackhammer pin. Goldberg gets on the corner, makes an ugly face, and probably he's going to hug his son. Look. Anybody that's been watching wrestling since Jesus was a child knows exactly what to get when you get the Goldberg match. It's nothing. Goldberg does not have long matches. And if Goldberg has a long match, the person that is in the ring with him is in trouble. You know what? Goldberg is in trouble. Goldberg is a 58-year-old man. Goldberg has had 58 consecutive birthdays and he wants to get in the ring. Look, Bill, it's okay. You don't have to go back. Come back. But in wrestling, one of the things that we always say is what is old is what is new. And I tell you this, people didn't want this new thing that is old or this old thing that is new. Let's go to the chat. Heel Vega said, hey man, even at his current age, Goldberg could still probably run through all those extras. He probably still could. You know what? Goldberg could probably run through me as well too. Heel Vega also says that roped into the Diddy trial isn't insane to say. You know what? anything just to get him away from the WWE. Put him with Epstein. You know what? He could have been R. Kelly's bodyguard. Anything that we could have did just to get Goldberg away, so we don't have to worry about him being in WWE. But you know what? We get the short end of the stick. Gunther gets the short end of the stick. Heel Vega continues to say that Goldberg's incapability to perform a long match is why he doesn't fit into today's product. Yeah, you're going to get a hand clap for that. You're going to get a hand clap for that. Because let me tell you this. Mr. Who's Next, right? Mr. I'm going to point at you at the screen and let you know that you're next. Let me tell you, you don't have to worry about who's next, because we don't want to know what's next, right? Because Goldberg just doesn't do long matches. At the time, it worked. When he was, what's that, 30 years ago almost? Since WWE, let's say it's 2025, so 24 years ago. So Goldberg was probably in his 30s. All of that worked back then. It worked. But now it's like, yo, bro, come on. You're just a grandpa that comes out, you pick people up, you spare them, you jackhammer them, and you do all this other stuff, and you should have retired when you left. Goldberg went on to Jacob Sports, and he spoke with Dan Stillier to justify why he deserves a title shot so quickly. Let me tell you what he said. Goldberg thinks he deserves a world title shot in 2025 because he went 176-0 in WCW back in 1998. You know what? God darn it. I'm just going to burn out the hand clap track, because you know what, Mr. Bill Goldberg? Bravo. You went 176-0 with WCW back in 1998. You know what the problem is? It's 2025. You know what the other problem is? Eric Bischoff, and it's, look, it may not be public knowledge, but if you watch them old WCW episodes and stuff like that, they let you know that most of the dates, they just added on extra numbers to inflate it. So Goldberg, your 176 probably isn't really 176. I would say your 176 is probably like 99. I don't know. But yep, 27 years ago, Goldberg literally said, I don't have to stand in line. Bro, you're talking about 176-0. You're talking about a streak that ended when people still used AOL to connect to the internet. Yo, Goldberg, you're not owed anything. This is not Blockbuster Video. This is where we don't do supersize anymore. And we don't do nostalgia, okay? And you don't get to rent or demand a title shot. You know what else? You know what else Goldberg said on that interview? Yo, I am going to look. Anybody that knows anything in wrestling, I am going to say something that is really disrespectful right now. So make sure you listen to what I'm about to say. Heel Vega. Make sure you listen. Goldberg says in that same exact interview that he deserves the same exact pull. Man, I can't even say it because it just sounds crazy. It sounds crazy what I'm about to say. Bill Goldberg thinks that he deserves the same exact pull as The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin because WCW slapped the title on him on less than 365 days into his career. God damn it. Goldberg thinks that he is on the same exact planet as The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bill Goldberg is acting like that he got one big reaction in the Georgia Dome in 1998. It means that he is pro wrestling royalty forever. Look, let's not forget that even the humble brag, right? He said, let me tell you what he said. He said, I haven't demanded anything. Well, not much. Translation is, I'm going to translate that for you, okay? Because I grew up in the Bronx, so I speak a little, poquito, a little bit of, mira. Listen, Goldberg says, I haven't demanded anything. Well, not much. To translate that Spanish to English, he's saying, I want main events without earning them, and I'll smile while doing it. In case nobody didn't know, you may have a bald head. You may wear black trunks and black boots, and you may even have a goatee. but you are definitely not Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you are not The Rock. If anything, Bill Goldberg, you are pro wrestling's. You know what Bill Goldberg is? I'm about to get disrespectful again. Where's the bottle of water? I'm about to get disrespectful. I'm gonna tell you what Bill Goldberg is. Middle of the day, your phone ring, and you know what your phone says? It says scam likely. Bill Goldberg is a scam likely. He's a fraud. How dare you put yourself in the same exact stratosphere as Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock? There is not one person who I've ever heard when he said, hey, who's on your pro wrestling Mount Rushmore? I've never heard anybody say Bill Goldberg. Because if you say Bill Goldberg, I want to know what kind of crack you smoke and where do you get it from, because I'm calling the cops, I'm snitching. Look, Goldberg basically said in that interview, let's put up his little pointy hand so you can see his little pointy hand. Goldberg said basically, I don't care how old, broken, or out of shape I am still, his words, not mine, I am still 99% better. I'm still better than 99% of the people walking on the planet. God damn, let's see what the hell happened. Bro, Goldberg, when you look at your last match, you look like you were running on the finish line for expired milk. And now that you're saying that that 50% of you is almost better than everybody, the lie detector test determined that is a lie. It's not true. Goldberg, you couldn't even carry your last match alone, let alone a point. This ain't about legacy. I think this is about ego and elbow pads and black trunks and maybe a goatee and a little dumb thing that you do. You're not proving a point, Goldberg. You're proving that you just don't know when to sit your ass down. That's it. Let's see what the hell Hill Vega had to say in the chat, live. Whether you're watching this live or on demand, make sure that you jump into the chat because I like to hear what you got to say. I don't care whether you've been watching wrestling for 5 seconds, where you don't even watch wrestling and you're just watching this because you stumbled upon this accidentally on YouTube. I want to hear what you got to say. Hill Vega says that he thought the AOL comment was funny. All right. Okay, thank you. And he said, damn, Tristan Law tackling all the nostalgia. He also says, Goldberg thinks he's on their level when he's not Sheamus's level, who also won the WWE Championship in his first year. You know what? Damn it, bro. You know, I want to give you a hand clap, but I think you're doing the most. Take your damn hand clap. Take your hand clap. Because the problem is that Bill Goldberg, by no means whatsoever, is Bill Goldberg The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H. Nobody. He has zero clout. He's got no reason to even be like. Let me tell you the thing. Thank you so much for your comments, Hill Vega. Let me tell you the thing. This is not a Goldberg problem. It's not just a Goldberg problem. WWE is the problem too. Now I'm going to have to go in on WWE. Look, y'all know I like WWE. Damn, I'm choking. Y'all know I like WWE, all right? I love WWE. Got no problem with WWE. Instead of hitting, WWE is hitting rewind instead of replay. Because when you think about Goldberg, what has Goldberg done in the realm of pro wrestling? I don't know. Spear people, jackhammer people, go who's next and go, accidentally put his elbow or something through a car window. Let me tell you this. I'll be honest. Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, host of the Tristan Law Show. Thanks for joining me. Bill Goldberg has done more than I have ever done in the pro wrestling business. But I think that Goldberg should have retired in his last run. He shouldn't have came back. Oh, because you didn't like the way that it went. You know what, bro? You had one shot. So now you're going to come back because you think that people People are dying to see you. When you look at past returns, like Cena and Austin, they were main event level. This one here, Gunther versus Bill Goldberg, it just feels forced. Listen to this. When Stone Cold Steve Austin, he had a really good retirement match a couple years ago at WrestleMania 38 versus Kevin Owens, and that match was 14 minutes. Right now, you got John Cena. John Cena's in retirement mode, and John Cena is even smart enough. He's a movie star. John Cena is smart enough to leave before he becomes a shell of himself. We are going to give John Cena a hand clap for that. Shout out to you, John Cena, knowing when to get the hell out there. But Goldberg, when Goldberg gets into the ring with people, he doesn't do anything for them. He doesn't give them a little bit of shine. He doesn't make him look better than the way that he looked before. He just eats him up, spits him out. Who's next? Here we go. Who's next? Listen. R-Truth. My bad. Can't even call him R-Truth because his mama don't call him Truth. His daddy don't call him Truth. I'm not going to call him Truth. I'm going to call him Ron. Big Ron Killings, right? Ron Killings became a huge star just by being associated with John Cena. Ron Killings was in such high demand that WWE released him. And all the fans and all the people that work for the WWE, the pro wrestling world, said, nah, I think y'all messed up, and brought him back. And now he's associated with John Cena. He's now messing around with the main event players, and he's going to be somebody. R-Truth is the first black NWA champion. He is the only black NWA champion to hold the belt twice. Juneteenth. Hey, let's talk about that, right? The only difference, listen to what I'm telling you. There's not much of a difference when it comes in title reigns between Bill Goldberg and Ron Killings. You know how many titles, world titles, set those two apart? Just two. Goldberg's only been world champion 4 times, but thinks that he should be in the same exact discussion as Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and Triple H and everybody else like that. Oh, because The Rock gets to come back and The Rock gets to do this, he should be it too. Listen, as my mother would say, and I'm saying this to Goldberg, if The Rock went to go jump off of a bridge, you're going to go jump off a bridge too? Goldberg versus Gunther is going to do what for Gunther? I don't know. And no one's light is getting dimmer right now than Gunther's. I'm afraid for Gunther. I don't know. And as Heel Vegas says in the chat, Goldberg just cares about Goldberg. I think so. Gunther has been a workhorse. He's a workhorse. He's been working his tail off. Gunther is the man. And he's just going to job out in a 5-second match to Goldberg? Okay, look, stop. Stop. Look. If there's anybody else sitting here right now talking to you, it's me. And I understand what the heck pro wrestling is. Pro wrestling is predetermined. We know that. It's entertainment. We're just all having fun in our underwear with other people in the ring, right? That's what we do. So what I don't want is I don't want that Goldberg fun. That's not the kind of fun that I'm looking for. I didn't ask for that. Heel Vega didn't ask for that, right? Alicia Gomez says in the chat, when is Bret Michaels coming back? Bret Michaels. If you mean Bret Michaels, the singer, I think he's coming back really soon. Maybe they'll have him at WrestleMania to sing something. Thank you so much for your comment. Bret Michaels. Oh, wait. Do you mean Shawn Michaels, or you made the funny face emoji with the eyes because you're probably like, that's probably not right. So, okay. So Bret Michaels was the singer. And then you have Shawn Michaels, and then you have, that's the wrestler, Shawn Michaels, and then you have Bret Hart. But if both of them had a baby, they'd be Bret Michaels, don't worry. So, what Gunther needs, thank you for your comment, what Gunther needs is he needs somebody to push him. Not to job out in a few minutes. Gunther has had more moments than Goldberg has probably had legitimate wins doing his 176-0 in the summer of 1998. Does anybody in their right mind even believe that Gunther's winning? I'm in my right mind. I don't think Gunther's probably going to win that one. And speaking of people that WWE might throw under the bus, let's talk about Jey Uso. We got to talk about Jey. I did a poll because I do our polls and I like to communicate and interact, with everybody that, watches the Tristan Law Show here on YouTube. So I put up a poll, right? Not a stripper poll, not a flag poll, but a poll so I can ask you your questions and get your pulse. So right now, there's 4 people, 4 men in the men's King of the Ring. And when they win, whoever wins the match, the last man standing, the winner of it all, gets to choose the championship of their choice. Whether it be the World Championship, the Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Undisputed Championship, they get to choose it. And Jey Uso's on there, Randy Orton's on there, Sami Zayn, and so is Cody Rhodes. When I last looked, there was no love in the heart of the city for the man by the name of Jey Uso. And I'm getting ready to dive in right now. I'm not going to say dive into Jey Uso. No, I'm going to dive into the topic of Jey Uso. What I want to see, damn, I'm choking. What I want to see, what I want to see is how the poll has done so far. Because I think there's a problem with Jey Uso. There might be a problem with Jey Uso, and I'm shocked at what I said. So right now, when you look at everything, Jey Uso got a vote. Okay, so Cody Rhodes, overwhelming. 80% people want him to win. Followed by Sami Zayn. I don't know. And then followed by Randy Orton and Jey Uso. They are tied for 3rd place. Look, listen to me. Listen, there's issues here, right? Jey Uso had a short reign as the World Heavyweight Champion. Was he transitional? He had the championship. He beat Gunther at WrestleMania 41. He held the championship for 51 days. Beat Gunther at WrestleMania 41 to give Gunther back the belt 51 days later so Gunther could come back and let Goldberg take the belt for him so that Goldberg could say what? That he was a 5-time champion? I would roll my eyes, but I don't want to get stuck like that. But, listen to me. Walk with me for a second. Hold my hand. I think that he may be all set for the King of the Ring. But, continue to walk with me. Hold my other hand. Let's switch hands. It's hot in here. Got all these lights getting sweaty. Hold my hand. The King of the Ring, like I said, gets a title shot. There's an open spot, and Jey Uso was put directly in that open spot after losing to Gunther. In the final 4 of the men's King of the Ring, I told you who it was. It's Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, and Jey Uso. What if the plan is for Jey Uso to beat Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship? Now there might be something that I'm interested in. Because although everybody seemed to be excited that Goldberg was back, what if it was this out of shock? What if when Goldberg came back, everybody just started on Monday Night Raw a couple days ago, like 4 days ago, 3 days ago. What if everybody was just chanting because they go, oh my God, Goldberg is here. And they go, wait a minute, Goldberg's here. Maybe that's what could have been happening, right? But what if fans like Jey Uso versus Bill Goldberg because he can feud against Bill Goldberg and become a bigger star? Now, one of the things that I've learned in my short but long time in the pro wrestling business, I started pro wrestling. I stepped into a ring back in 2007, June 2007. And I'm almost like, 18 years? So in my 18 years of pro wrestling experience, one of the things that I've learned, I think it's one of the first things I learned my first day. When you come into pro wrestling, one day you want to leave. And your job is to leave it better than when you found it. So if Jey Uso and Goldberg get into a match and Goldberg actually gets beaten by Jey Uso, that actually makes, in the realm of pro wrestling, Jey Uso a bigger star. Because beating Goldberg would be colossal for someone like Jey Uso, and I wouldn't mind seeing Bill Goldberg work as a heel. Now we're cooking. That's a big if. There's a smarter way to build stars though without gambling on what ifs, because it's getting kind of scary now. When you're looking at Goldberg is only one thing. He's buzz. It seems nice, right? It looks nice on internet headlines back in 1999. Oh my God, Bill Goldberg is coming back. Hey, it looks nice. But maybe they could book something like Gunther versus LA Knight for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Hey, that's a possibility. Gunther versus Cody. Gunther versus Punk. Gunther versus Damian Priest. I think all of that is brains. WWE doesn't need any match right now with Bill Goldberg. I think Goldberg needs the match, though. And that is a hot take. Goldberg can do anything that he wants to retire. But why him versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight for the championship? Why? Because he can retire and say, well, you know, back in my time, kids, I was a 5-time world champion. Goldberg, just go away. Just go away. Just go away. You don't have to hang out. Just go away. Just go do your thing. Right? Goldberg was the WCW champion for about 173 days. That was the only time he held the WCW World Championship in the summer of 1998. So who in the hell cares if Goldberg is even a champion in summer of 2025? But let's zoom out. What would Gunther's ideal next chapter look like if we skip the nostalgia? Damn. I'm looking at the chat and Heel Vig is very disrespectful tonight. Maybe I should be coming back at night and doing one episode every couple of weeks at night just so that we can see how disrespectful Heel Vega could become. Because he said that Goldberg is the Pepperidge Farm meme. That was rude. That was rude. You might hurt somebody's feelings there. But thank you for your comment still. Pepperidge Farm meme. Gunther has earned the main event spotlight. Gunther, if you ask me, he's legit. Gunther is going to go down in history as making the Intercontinental Championship prestigious in this new era. Gunther's been in the ring with names, and what I think needs to happen is there to be no more roadblocks on part-time legends. Hopefully, Goldberg is the last part-time legend from yesteryear. What should be happening is that Gunther should be climbing and not babysitting the past. Gunther is more than that. Unless WWE is setting up something more meaningful for his last ride. I don't know. I guess we just have to wait. If this is Goldberg's retirement, I say book it right. Flair versus Taker. Flair versus HBK. Taker versus Roman. Those were emotional matches, right? But Goldberg never had such arc. It's never nothing emotional. Goldberg never really did anything except to say, I held the WCW championship for 173 days and I was 176-0. I was undefeated. Good for you. Good for you. Name Goldberg's greatest match of all time that makes you say that Goldberg deserves the kind of send-off that he's getting right now. I don't know where that would come from. I've never heard one person said, like I said before, that they're going to put Goldberg on their Mount Rushmore. Never in my life. If this is it, give it weight. Don't waste it. Let Goldberg get his opportunity, let him go away, and let him never come back. Because if anybody said, I'm going to say this again, if anybody out there says that Bill Goldberg, Mr. I'm going to point at you because you're next, right? If anybody says that Bill Goldberg is on your Mount Rushmore, I need to know that, like, you look, check yourself into rehab. Like, you know, it's very important that you take care of yourself. You have people that love you. This is an intervention, you know, because Goldberg is definitely not the greatest of all time. If somebody gave me the pencil, let me tell you how I'd probably book it. Goldberg comes out for one last match. The issue is right now that Goldberg just came out and just said, hey, I'm next. Like, wait a minute. Like, who the hell died and just said that because you came out and said that you're next, that you're next? Like, you don't even have the ability to just come out and I'm like, you know what, I'm next. They booked that match between Gunther and Jey Uso between the commercial breaks for Saturday night's main event happening in a couple weeks. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. 459 subscribers, almost up to 500. Whether you watch this live or on demand, go ahead and mash the subscribe button. I don't even ask people to subscribe. I don't. I don't. Sometimes I mention it. Sometimes I mention it, and I'm mentioning it right now. Go ahead and mash the subscribe button first time. So instead of Goldberg coming out there and yelling for a match, he acts like a gentleman and he asks for a match. And Gunther said, "You know what? I don't fight old men. I don't fight old men." And now it's like, okay, so now we're doing this and it's working and everything else is happening and we're moving forward and stuff like that. And then eventually, Goldberg and Gunther, Gunther's forced that he just can't say no anymore. That would have been a much better match instead of just saying, you know what, you're next. Because I hope the fans remember that we had a little, carfuffle, whatever. We had a little bit of beef back in October 2024. I hope you remember. But if you don't remember, I'm that pointy guy. I told you that you were next. And I came back on Monday Night Raw to let you know that you were next again because I'm Mr. Pointy Guy. I'm Mr. Bill Goldberg. Look, it don't make no sense to me. Gunther should say eventually that, you know what, he's going to accept because there are no legends in his era. A hard-hitting match, no squash. Gunther wins clean, no handshakes, no hugs. That's the end. That's it. Thanks, Goldberg, for coming. We appreciate you. Make sure you pick up your complimentary turkey for Thanksgiving on the way out. Because here's the truth. I personally don't think that Goldberg's return doesn't bore me. I think it offends me. And it might offend a lot of people that are watching as well, too. So here's why I don't care. And this is going to be the point here. It's not disrespect. I think it's exhaustion. If you ask me, I think I'm Goldberged out. Fans want moments. They don't want museum tours. Because if they wanted museum tours, they would go watch WWE Vault here on YouTube, or they'd go watch the WCW YouTube channel. Those are two great, solid YouTube channels ran by the WWE right now. They're flying really underneath the radar, and they're secretly replacing the WWE network. So make sure when you're done, you go watch WWE Vault and WCW. If you like wrestling, you want to watch wrestling of yesteryear, go do that. But Goldberg does not elevate anybody. If you ask me, I think he overshadows. Who is the last person that Goldberg really put over? Who was the last person in the ring that you'd be like, you know what, damn, Goldberg had a really good match. And after that match, that person became a bigger star. But before I close, I have a challenge for you. Tell me who you think Gunther should face instead. That's what I want to know. Let's wrap up the chat. Heel Vegas says, that's okay. He said, that's okay. Those with hurt feelings will be fine. All right. He says that Goldberg doesn't fit on anybody's Mount Rushmore respectfully, and I only speak for myself. Brother, you speak for me as well, too, because when I have 3 people on my Mount Rushmore, and somebody says, who's next? I'm not saying Bill Goldberg. I'm not. Let's see. Well, the thing is, you see it says ... right? But we're not going to say, well, the thing is ... I'm just going to give you the look. We got a message from, well, the thing is, checks in and says, I can't stand Gunther as a character. You know what? I can't stand Gunther as a character as well, too, but I want him to chop the nipples off of Bill Goldberg in the ring. I want him to put his hand right through Bill Goldberg's chest, that the first time he touches Bill Goldberg has that emotional thing. It's like, you know what? I can say it, right? Because it's 9:30 at night. I want it to be like God, I can't say it. It's a little bit too explicit. I'm not going to say it. But it's something more like, imagine a woman, right? She's with a guy. And then the guy has and it's like, oh my God, I think I bit off a little bit more than I chew. I need to run. That's what I want to happen to Goldberg. I want Goldberg to realize that he's not even in over his head. I want him to be in over his whole entire body to where he's like, damn, I messed up. Thank you for your message. Heel Vegas says, one thing I would like to know in relation to Gunther is, where is Ludwig Kaiser? You know what? Maybe we should run a Where is Ludwig Kaiser promotion here in the Tristan Law Show. Put him on the side of a milk box. I am going to do that. Thank you for the idea, Heel Vega, because we are going to find him. If you've seen Ludwig Kaiser, make sure that you tell Triple H. We're going to put that out there. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So, who do you think that Gunther should face instead of Goldberg? I asked you that question. Let me answer that for you. Whether you're watching live or on demand, put that in the chat. Anybody other than Goldberg. How would you book Goldberg differently? I want to know. Tell me in the chat. Let's have a conversation about it off the air. Because what's better for WWE? Legacy or evolution? If you ask me, I think choking. Hold on, I'm trying to hold it in. If you ask me, I think that evolution is way better. Thank you so much for joining me for another action-packed episode of the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, go ahead and mash that subscribe button. And if you like what I did, go ahead and like and share with everybody. Don't make us be like a little dirty secret to what we do here. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show. Check out the reels. Check out the promo hotline. If you got something you want to beef about in pro wrestling, that's the number right there. 973-826-0101. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show, and I'll see you next time.
Driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive, nothing in sight forever.